July 5, 1997.
Day was your first day?
Yep, because, no, that wasn't, well, I don't remember when my first day, but that's when I arrived, because my uncle had 50 years in America party on July 4th. Shalom, everyone. I'm Rabbi Cantor Arlene Bernstein, and I've had the privilege of being at Beth Israel for 25 years.
When you think about the music of the High Holy Days, what's your first memory?
My first memory is of hearing the sound of the shofar and that ancient call in the month of Elul, on the first day of Elul, knowing that in a month Rosh Hashanah would be upon us. And that sound has stayed with me through the many shofar sounders through the years, and the privilege of hearing that sound is kind of what I long for at this time.
What are some of your favorite pieces of High Holy Day music as a leader?
As a leader, the Hayom is certainly one of them. Next, as a leader, the Kol Nidre, very powerful and allows us to be free of the promises that we made and engenders us to make promises for the next year. And that sound is all about the high holidays, and that sound has not changed in centuries. And I would not be the one to change it. But giving it the freedom of interpretation, and having had Cantor Sheldon Merrill as a mentor, that I could hear his voice, and I can hear the voices of colleagues and cantors who came before, and then I can put in my emotional setting to it as well.
How do you keep it fresh? How do you make sure that each year when you offer that prayer, that you are able to pray it and not just kind of like recall a memory of how I'm supposed to sing it?
I think that for me, emotionally, every year has been very different, and I think that everyone would say the same for themselves. So when I come into the sanctuary, I will have heard the cellist playing the Bruch Kol Nidre along with the organist first. So this year, Marcia and Jaban will be playing, and that is what I hear. But when I see the Torot come out and the entire congregation is standing, many of whom are wearing their talitot, it brings me to a different place. It says, this is the first time we have ever heard this. And that is very touching to me and doesn't allow me to be stale. At least I like to think so. I'd like to hope so.
Which pieces of music move you as a whole person the most during the High Holy Days?
I think that one of the pieces is our, I don't know how to say it best, our mashup of Who by Fire by Leonard Cohen and the Rosh Hashanah, a very old and tried and true melody. And our composer, Andy Mayer, here at Beth Israel, has arranged that so that it works together. And this is very modern and pulls in the sound of the ancient. And for me, that is so touching. And mostly I'm glad that I'm not the one singing it, because it brings me to tears, and so I'm grateful to be able to hear it. And the next one is the prayer Ya'aleh, which I will want to read a little bit of from our Machzor that we use. And it's part of a section of prayers. It says Slichot, songs of forgiveness. And it says, and we read it on Kol Nidre night, it says, "May our yearnings rise above the shadow of dusk. May the searching of our souls reach you in the morning. All day our praise is before you. May it be acceptable. May it be received till evening comes." So that the arc of the holiday is one of evening all the way through sundown the next day, and there is no end to that. And in our community, very often is a child singing, well, maybe not a child, maybe a teenager singing the solo part, and our choirs together, young people and our adult Zimriya chorale singing together. And to me, that is the most touching moment, where we look at the arc of the day and hope that our prayers will be heard.
In the month of Elul, we sing Psalm 27, and we say, Achat she'alti, one thing I ask of God. If you could ask one thing of our congregation as they approach the High Holy Day season, and they're mentally, spiritually preparing to be together in community, what would you ask of our community?
It's a beautiful question, and I think it's easy. I would ask them all to show up, to be here with us, whether it's for one service or two, or the entire day of Yom Kippur, whether it's indoors or outdoors, listening wherever they feel safe or online, but to be with us in spirit and in physical presence as well, so that we really can be a community. We are more than 1,100 families, and that feels whole and it feels nurturing. And I think for me, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are about the community, and so I would like to see everyone.